My name is Yoanna Gouchtchina. I represent ZeeRabbit, which is in-app advertising platform, and I'm founder and CEO. That's a good question. The name of the session is Communication in Startups and How to Sell a Product that you don't yet have. So you have to start with creating a product. So first of all, you have to come up with a good idea. And once you come up with a good idea, you have to make sure that it focuses on the problem and is solving something in the market that doesn't yet exist. And a good idea, if you think it's a good idea in the local market, like for example, we're starting in Russia, you have to look at Western models that exist and test it upon them to see if that's something that has actually already been tested, because a good idea to you doesn't always seem to be a good idea to somebody else. So if it has taken place somewhere else, that's probably a good proof of concept that it's something that may be consumed by the market. When you already have tested it, you have to first convince your team that it's something, and basically the first step would be communication to your team about the product and to see if you can motivate them to not only to believe in it, but to sell it to other people, to clients, and build the company that you envision as at the end. And then, you know, when you have taken all those steps of building a team, building a product, finalizing the idea and everything else, you start selling to the clients. And the essential steps that you have to take would be really base it on the statistics that are available in the market, because that's something, if you're selling something that you haven't really, tested yet, you need to gather all the possible statistics that you have based on competition, based on the market, and if you don't have them, you have to look at the close segments that are in the market in order to prove that your idea is viable. And that's probably essential in building up your communication and PR strategy if you're starting with something that doesn't yet exist in the market where you're starting. As an entrepreneur, of course, I like to sell something that doesn't yet exist, but it hasn't really been exactly proven in that particular way. But in order to do it, I have to believe myself that that's something that will fly based on a number of different things. But the question, the answer is definitely I like to sell something that doesn't yet exist and be the first one and just make a break in the market. You have to identify your stakeholders that you're reaching, either your clients, your users, your partners, and you have to test your idea upon all of them. And not once. You have to select your, everybody in those particular segments, and ask people to introduce you and just talk about your idea to all these various stakeholder groups in order to prove that your concept is right. And while you're going to be communicating and talking about that concept, you're probably going to modify as you go along, so you don't build a product that is useless to people. So I think the first that I would suggest to young startups and entrepreneurs is to communicate as much as possible before actually jumping into something. I would say Moscow is vibration on ice. I absolutely consider myself as a global communicator, and sometimes that's even difficult because you understand the specificity of this market and you have to adjust your global thinking to the local thinking. But I more so believe that, we're all becoming global, People stop talking about globalization because it's already here. So I think global communication is not tomorrow, it's today.